Hello, everyone, and happy Financially Lit Tuesday. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m., where I bring you news, tips, and tricks on how to wealth up. So for those of you tuning in from the Sipping Wealth YouTube channel, be sure to hit the subscribe bell and the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any Financially Lit Tuesdays. For those of you that are tuned in, make sure that you are dropping a comment in the comment section so I know who's tuned in with me. Thank you. And also make sure that you're hitting that share button because, like I always say, we want to make sure that our family and friends wealth up with us so that we not alone on the wealth journey, and also make sure that they know, these awesome, cool wealth tricks, right? Why not? So how are y'all feeling today? Hopefully everyone's doing great on this Financially Lit Tuesday. So today I thought, why not? Grand Rev team was like, hey, why not we have a little fun with this Financially Lit Tuesday? So I posted a question on my page earlier asking you all, what would you do with $1 million? Right? We have tons of things that we would like to do with $1 million. If only I had $1 million, and we have a list of everything that we would want to do with it. So why not go ahead and see? There was an individual, so he came up to the table, right? So he came up to the table, the Grand Rev table, and he's like, I have a question for you all. What would the accountant pitch to me to do with $1 million? Like, you being an accountant, what would I do with $1 million? So why not do a Financially Lit Tuesday catering to, on an accountant's perspective, what should happen with the $1 million? Of course, these are just options, tips, different things that you can consider if you were to come across not necessarily $1 million, but a lump sum of money. Maybe it's $100,000, $50,000, $1 million, $10 million, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to be giving you some tips. Like I said, make sure you hit that share button so that your friends and family know what to do if they were to come up on a large amount of money. In this case, we're talking about $1 million, right? So first things first is, if you were to get this $1 million, say, I don't know, hopefully it's not in cash, because if it is, then it's going to raise some red flags when you start moving that money around. But say, it was gifted. Somebody was like, here, sign a check. Here's $1 million, type of thing. They know they donated to you, whatever the case may be. You're up on $1 million. First thing is, you don't want to keep it liquid, because what's going to happen is you're going to be taxed at the highest tax bracket, which is currently at 37%. Imagine receiving $1 million and almost $400,000 of it has to go to the IRS to pay taxes on that amount. That's intense. Now hey, Eni, what's up? Hey. How's it going? So yeah, that's a large sum of money. Who wants to give away, $400,000 in just taxes alone? So I'll definitely be going over some different things to consider, to do with that $1 million or that large sum of money, so that you don't have to pay so much in taxes, right? Because that's the name of the game. Make sure that you're wealthing up and paying as less as possible in taxes. All right. So for starters, if you're a single individual, this is, you don't have any dependents. You're just filing single on your own, living your best life. It's lit. Different things that you can consider is maxing out your retirement contributions. So right now it's about $4,000 to $6,000. Just go ahead and fund it. Go ahead and max out your retirement fund contribution, whether it's your IRA account, maybe it's set up a 401k through your employer. Max them both out, whatever the case may be. Go ahead and do your thing, because why not do that first? Because set up a Roth account so that it's pre-tax dollars. You don't have to worry about getting it taxed when you pull the money out. And then we have our HSA account. For those of you that still are unsure about the HSA account or don't really understand a health savings account, then make sure that you go watch the live that we did last week so that you can have more information. Well, yes, last week, so you can have more information about the health savings account. Um, or the week before last, one of the weeks, one of the financial lists. All right, y'all. And then if you have children, then you can set up that UPMA account. So UPMA account is definitely huge. Is that it's a uniform transfer to minors account, which helps to establish a savings account for your child while they're minors. So once they become of age, 18 years old, it now transfers into a regular account for them to use for whatever they want to use it for. But you have this UPMA account that's growing some form of interest rate, not much, but it's a nice savings plan or account for your child. Then you have your 529 plan, your college savings plan. Now, like I said before in my previous videos, if you are confused about the 529 plan, I did go over it in past videos. Just go to the Sipping Wealth YouTube channel. But with the 529 college savings plan, it doesn't have to necessarily be for a traditional college or university. Now, this is any form of higher education that this 529 plan can go to. Now you can max this money out. This is $15,000 per student. And that doesn't have to necessarily just go to that child you open it up for. Maybe you have another child. You can transfer it to the other child if the other one that chooses not to go to college or chooses not to go to whatever higher education route. There's that option of transferring it to another child. But you can put away $15,000 easy, right? Why not max that out? It has that tax advantage. And then we have the life insurance. I know some of us, a lot of people out there, they think of life insurance, they think death, right? But life insurance doesn't necessarily have to be just in case of death, right? So you have your living benefits, you have your IULs, you have your long-term care. So if anything were to happen to you, accidents happen all the time. In fact, I was in an accident myself, right? So if something happened, oh, thank God, nothing extreme happened, right? Where, like I couldn't walk or whatever the case may be, right? So now the life insurance policy could be set up to pay me out in case I'm not able to walk or I'm not able to eat on my own or shower on my own, whatever the case may be. So it's just 2 out of the 6 impairments, right? Different things like that. Life insurance, why not? Go ahead and open policies. You can open it on your children, your parents, your neighbor, your grandma, grandpa, whatever it is. You can open multiple policies on yourself. And it's not just traditional. You have term, you have whole life, IUL, you have variable life insurance. So there are really different types of vehicles that you can definitely get into as far as in the life insurance realm. But those are some tips. You definitely, so like I said, the name of the game is to decrease your tax burden, your tax liability, because we want to keep as much money in your pocket as possible. We don't want to, throw it to, it's good to fund the government in some aspects, but some of the bills that are passing or being passed in the future are ridiculous, right? So of course, you don't want to be that person that's footing the huge bill because you didn't take advantage of that tax savings. You have billion-dollar corporations that are taking advantage of this. Why not yourself, right? And then we have real estate. So I've had my colleague Jason Scott on Financially Lit Tuesdays multiple times. So if you haven't tuned into Financially Lit with Jason Scott on it, you can go to the Sipping Wealth YouTube channel. It's there. Awesome stuff. He's always talking about different ways to get into real estate. And I'm going to drop a few right now. Right? So literally about 98% of the wealthiest population is invested in real estate. Right? So you have basically the majority is invested in real estate. And it's because it's a huge tax savings. And another reason is why, because it's increasing in equity and value as age, as time goes on. So why not make sure that whatever your money's in, that it's in an appreciating asset versus, like a car or something that depreciates as soon as you drive it off the lot or whatever the case may be. Right? So for real estate strategies, we have buy and hold strategy. We have the buy and lease. So maybe you want to purchase a home and lease it out or rent it out to individuals, or rent it out to multiple people. A fix and flip. Maybe you want to get a property that needs renovating and fix it up and then resell it in the market. A duplex, apartment complex, a commercial property. So you have multiple commercial properties in Jacksonville alone that are going for good amount of money, right? So there are tons of properties throughout Jacksonville that you can invest your $1 million in, and that of course they're appreciating assets. So maybe you want to get a commercial plaza in Jacksonville and renovate the plaza and rent it out to tenants, and then years later sell it, whatever the case may be. But this is an option for you to think about with this $1 million. Why not, right? I also, Arthur said buy and hold strategy, right? Hey Arthur, how's it going? Increase in equity and value, absolutely. Absolutely. This is powerful. Reduce your tax liability. Heavy. And it is the name of the game. I talk about this every week. Like, y'all, if there's anything that you are going to hear me talk about, it's making sure you have a budget, and also making sure that you're decreasing your taxes. Who wants to pay a bunch in taxes? Boo. We don't want it. The other option is for those of you that are like, you know what, I got $1 million. I'm ready to buy a car. I'm trying to ride nice. I want multiple cars. I'm trying to be out here. There's options. So you have several options as far as purchasing a vehicle. You can do it through a business. So open a business. Say, put some of that money towards opening a business, establishing a business, buying the vehicle through the business, right? Now that it can be a vehicle that's you can write off the cost of the vehicle and everything associated with it. So the gas, the insurance, maybe it's a lease vehicle, so the lease payments, all that good stuff. On the other hand, maybe you're like, oops, I didn't write it off. I mean, I didn't purchase it with my business. The other option is you have platforms like Turo available now, right? That allows you to utilize your vehicle as an asset. So it doesn't have to be so much of a liability. So maybe you're like, hey, I got this $1 million. I'm going to the car lot. I'm getting 3 cars. It's lit, right? So you can drive one, put the others on the platform, whatever, or maybe you want to switch them out every now and again. I have a friend that does that. He has he has 5 vehicles now. His day-to-day vehicle is like a Prius, right? He wants to be efficient. He gives it to his girlfriend. She drives around in it. And then when he wants to go out in the town, he has his G-Wagon or his i8 or his Jeep, right? So he just jumps into his different vehicles if he wants to, go out, but he puts them on the platform and makes money off of them. So essentially those car payments are paid for. Everything happened, the insurance, everything associated with that vehicle is paid for, and he doesn't have to worry, and he gets to take the car out whenever he wants to, take it for a ride and flex. So I did post it on my wall. So some of the things I want to touch on that you all said when I posted, what would you do with $1 million on my wall earlier? Because I was like, what would y'all do with $1 million for real? So I had Trey Ford said, go to the casino. And I'm like, go to the casino. One thing about the casino to mention is you can write off your losses, your casino losses, your gambling losses. So if he were to go to the casino and lose all his entire $1 million, well, he can't write off all of it, but he can write off some of it. He can write off his losses. If he were to go and win, then he paid taxes on the wins, right? Someone said, Sienna said, donate 10%. So donations. So there's the gift tax. So if it's donation, charity, and things like that, you can write it off in your taxes. If it's more than, I believe it's $250 in cash, then you just have an extra form that you fill out of how much and where you're donating it to. And then, but if you're maybe gifting it to someone, If somebody was like, "Hey, I got $1 million, I'm gonna give Wadleen 15,000," because she's awesome. I'm like, "Oh, thank you," right? So what works? It's awesome because it's $15,000. So on the giver's side, that person doesn't have to pay taxes on it, and on the receiver side, I don't have to pay taxes on it either because it's under that $15,000 threshold. For my married people, it just doubles. All right. Ooh. And so pay off debt. Paying off debt is huge. I did get a lot of responses as far as people saying paying off debt, which is, definitely go ahead and pay that off. Right? Why sit on all this interest earning debt if you don't need to, right? Sam Tim said hire an accountant. Y'all. The I'm like, it's like we on the same page here. Clearly, yes, that's awesome. That's amazing. He said, when are you going to go live on TikTok? um when TikTok and StreamYard could connect. Perhaps one day. I haven't considered going live on TikTok. As you can see, I haven't posted on TikTok in like a couple of months or so. It's been a minute. I'm gonna do better. But I hear your TikTok is taking off, Arthur, and you made it a business account. So do your thing at True Lemma. Ooh. um, but yes, Jensen say pay off some debt, down payment for two multiple multiplexes. So we have, buying a house, buying property, buying cars, building a business. These are all great things. Like you all have great things as far as what you want to do with $1 million. One thing I say is don't hold a bunch, too much liquid cash, right? Because liquid means taxes, right? So we want to avoid that. We want to make sure that it's increasing in value, because especially in this day and age where the value of the dollar is depreciating heavy, so inflation is ridiculous. So we definitely want to make sure that our money is earning money, right? So yes, any questions, y'all? Anything I want to go over? Before I go ahead and head out, I thank you all for tuning in for this week's version of Financially Lit Tuesday. We do have two free tax courses available in December. So we have a free tax course. It's a basic tax accelerator class. So this is just a 2-hour class giving you the tax basic nitty gritty so that you can be in these streets and be like, yeah, I know what that is. No, but just so that you can have a better understanding of taxes and how they work, because it can be very terrifying. It can be very confusing. So definitely make sure that you're taking advantage of this free tax class. It's on learntaxcourses.com. So it's right here on the screen. So make sure that you head over to that website. Make sure that you're sharing it with your friends, families, loved ones, all that good stuff. Make sure that they are in that tax class. Like I said, it is completely free. Why am I offering a free tax course? Because I want to make sure that you are knowledgeable on taxes so that you can stop being so blind out here as far when it comes to taxes, right? So you can stop paying so much in taxes and keep more money in your pocket, especially in this day and age where inflation is crazy, gas prices are ridiculous, food prices are ridiculous. I went to the grocery store and I'm like, I don't know about this total. Like, can I leave the groceries here? But definitely make sure that you are getting in that tax class so that you can take advantage of it. It's free, like I said. We also have an all-day intensive course coming up in January, so be sure to look out for that. The actual to go ahead and get into the January tax class, it's available right now. It's an all-day intensive. So for those of you that are like, hey, I'm okay with preparing my own taxes, or I just need some more information on how to better prepare my own taxes, or maybe you're like, hey, I want to start a tax business. This is the day that you want to be a part of. It's going to be January 8th. And you want to make sure that you go to learntaxcourses.com to go ahead and register into that course. It's only $350. Y'all, that is wild to sit down in a class for only $350 and learn the nitty gritty about taxes. Like, You will leave that class knowing how to prepare a 1040, right? Which is, for those of you that are like, what's a 1040? It's your tax form, right? It's your income tax form, your annual income tax form. So you will leave that class saying, oh, I'm great. I know what the filing requirements are. I know what the penalties are. I know, like, we have it listed out on the learntaxcourses.com website as far as what you'll be learning. So make sure that you're enrolled in that class. Definitely going to be an amazing day. Like I said, it's an all-day intensive. And thank you all. On that note, thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of Financially Lit Tuesday. Be sure to join me next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m., where I bring you news, tips, and tricks on how to wealth up. And also make sure that you're following the Grand Rev page on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and the Sipping Wealth YouTube channel. Sipping Wealth has some great things in store. So be sure to make sure that you're following that YouTube channel. Thank you all once again, and have an awesome, amazing, super awesome Financially Lit Tuesday.